Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. So we're back out on the river down at Fort Jackson. This is my good friend Jared. We want to get us a donkey. So it's a little different today. We're starting early in the morning and we're going to fish for a good while, see what we can do here. We've never been here this early in the morning at this particular spot. And it's been a while since we've been able to fish this particular spot. The river has just dropped, letting us in here. Prior to this, it was too high to get in here. You'd be fishing in knee-deep water. But today, all is good. And look, we have good wind speeds. It's super calm out here. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, let's get some bait out of here. We have just a little bit to start. We might have to go do a bait run. All we have are panfish, bluegill. Let's see if I can find a good one out of here. Here. I think that's the biggest one right there. On the way down here, Jared and I were talking about bluegill, or basically panfish, as bait. A lot of guys online always talk about how they never do anything good with panfish as bait, especially bluegill. But down here we do. And what Jared brought up was, is it because we're catching the gill real close to the river? You know, he's tried catching gill up in Mississippi where he comes from and bringing them down to the river and never doing any good. So we were wondering, can catfish tell if the bluegill came from a different body of water? I don't really have a definitive answer for that, but I've always done good with this as bait right here in the river in this part of Louisiana. Certain times of the year, mullet works better. I prefer mullet. All right, let's talk about the rigs. These are pretty standard rigs for me. This is an 8/0 snailed up to 50-pound mono as the leader. We're using 3 ounces of lead on a sinker slide. Now, both rods have the same rig and both rods have a main line of 80-pound braid. I find that I really need that for the river down here. When I come down to this particular spot, I really love just using my 12-footers and nothing but my 12-footers. Jared's got 2 10-footers today. The reason why I like the 12-footers here is because even though I'm walking through really shallow water here, not too far in front of me, another maybe 20 feet or so, there's a really steep drop-off, a really deep hole. And it can be a problem if you don't have the correct leverage, the correct angle, trying to get your bait or your fish up over that drop off, because it's really steep, could be an undercut, who knows. But I've seen a lot of people get hung up in it. They think they're on a solid hang, but they're really just buried in the mud. And I've seen people lose their fish in it, and they all had shorter rods. Everybody that's fished this with a 12-foot rod has had far less problems. So let me stop yakking and get this bait out there. Decent. Not that I think that Jared's 10-foot rods are not enough for this. He's had some success getting stuff in with his 10-foot rods. So I would say 10 to 12-foot rods for spots like this. Ooh, big fish just busted the water way out there in the channel. It was super huge. Hello. Finally, we've been waiting forever. It is just, yeah, here we go. It's just after 9 o'clock. And this is our first bite, our first fish. It's always this rod with the bait way over there. We've been sitting here brainstorming because we've been here since, I think, right before 8. Got the lines wet, and it is after 9 now. I know it's only been an hour, but we thought we were, oh no. No. Back to the drawing board because there's no fish here. Oh man, but that's something positive. Nothing catastrophic happened. It just got off. Is this one serious? Oh yeah. This is on a smaller hook. I downsized this to a 5/0 because the baits are getting smaller. It's a smaller bait. It has some pretty good shoulders, but you got to remember that he's out in the current and he's coming up a steep drop off that may have an undercut on it somewhere. Oh, he's up already. We got him. He's looking smaller than he felt at first. I got the net right next to me. We'll see when I get him up here. I gotta bring him through some shallow water. It's not as bad as it could be. Sometimes when we have low tide, when we're at this level that the river's at 10 feet. Well, that's what the gauge up in New Orleans is saying. Not a giant. Not a giant, but man, it is almost 10 o'clock and I've been wondering if we were gonna ever get one. It was just really slow this morning. Woo! All right. 2 takedowns, 1 fish, pretty slow morning. I feel like any second I'm gonna have to run over to that rod a second time. Had a massive strike. When I'm making these videos, sometimes I get to this point where I'm kind of getting a bite and I'm watching the rod, but my battery's about to die. So it's like playing with fire. I gotta change this battery and hopefully nothing happens while I change the battery. Yes. What'd I tell you? I knew I was gonna have to run over to this rod a second time. Oh, yes, big head shakes right there. Jared has already given up and gone to the car. Oh, come on. Come on, I'm bringing them over the drop off. Sometimes you lose fish when you're doing this. I do not want to lose this fish. Yeah, we're about to call this because it's just been going really slow. He never had a bite. I've only had a few. He's already up at the surface. Ooh, beaver tailing out there. Yes, yes. Not a massive fish. It looks a bit bigger than that first one. Oh, yes. That is what I love to see. Ooh, running right over there. Oh, right in front of us, guys. Yeah. Oh, and again. Nice. Bear with me as I play him back over to me. I'm going to use the net for this one. Not a real graceful landing here. Taking the bite. Yeah, you're right. Look at it. Nice. Finally. Decent decent fish. Not gonna bother weighing this. He's definitely around 10 or better, 10 pounds or better. Wow. For a slow morning, I'm really happy to get this. Really happy to get this. Just maybe 3 bites today, 2 fish. Maybe they're still spawning. We had kind of a late spawn this year. That could be one of the reasons why it was slow. Another reason is that we didn't get here super early. We got here before 8, got our bait, and then we got lines wet by 8 o'clock. Maybe if we would have started at 4 in the morning, we would have got more fish, but we didn't. This is what we did, and it worked out. Sometimes it does. I mean, it's the river. You're almost guaranteed something. If you can get your bait out there in the deep water where they're running, you're almost guaranteed something, especially this time of year, even if they are spawning. We got something. All right, gonna let this one go. Whoa. Well, he's more than ready. Look at him. Sometimes they get disoriented and they want to go right back up to the bank. He's got it. Slow morning or not, I'm fairly pleased and ready to go home. So yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.